Hey everyone, I'm back and it's been several days, but the reason I didn't come back earlier was because we had some more rain and I didn't have time to mess with everything because it was just so rainy. And you can tell that the soil is still wet from that rain, but that's okay because I'm gonna go ahead and work on stuff. And I want to show you what I'm gonna put in next. Or actually, first I want to show you a couple things. So I have an ice plant here, and you know, ice plants do not like the heat, and I know it looks pretty much dead, and this did the same thing last year, but instead of pulling it up, I just left it there, and then this year it came back and made flowers. So I think I'm just going to leave that right there. I did pull up that agavoides over there, and it's in the greenhouse, and I will show it to you later, but part of it is still living. And I think it's gonna make it, but it did look pretty rough as you saw in that last clip. So everything else in here is looking great, getting really pretty colors because we've had 90 something degree weather when it isn't raining, sometimes even when it is. And a lot of things are making bloom stalks. And what I may do is kind of a side video where I've seen people cut off bloom stalks, especially from these big echeverias, and put them in water or soil, and sometimes they can sprout pups. So thinking about doing that, but everything else looks pretty good. We still have that sunburnt one, of course, but like I said, the new growth looks great and it's going to be tough, so that's fine. More slug eating on this fantastic, but since we are about to get in lots of really hot, dry weather, I'm not going to add any chemicals to this garden. I just don't want to do it, and it's just going to be more effort than it's worth. I still haven't cleaned up all this lime zinger sedum, but I will. And I want to show you what I'm going to put in next. So I had mentioned this in a previous video or maybe clip that I want to put in some of this sedum and what was it called? Sun Sparkler, Sun Dazzler, and then this tricolor sedum. So I'm going to put a little bit of each in there. And then I've got these guys. So this is what I want to say is a Rosea maybe. Got a Pearl von Nuremberg, a Neon Breakers. I think this is a Subsessilus Morning Beauty, a Lola. I believe this is a Echeveria Prolifica. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, I didn't even see that. And then this is some sort of Graptosedum. I'll put that in there too. I've got this that I found on the floor at a hardware store, and they said I could have it, and I know it had fallen off the cacti nearby, and it's called Desert Ace, and it's finally making a sprout. I have some other ones in the greenhouse, but I thought I'd throw one out here in the cactus area and see how it would do. Then finally these guys, and they're dehydrated, and they haven't really been very happy in the greenhouse, so I'm going to put them out here too and see how they do. And just because we have been getting so much rain lately, what I'm gonna do, since the soil is wet also, is what I plant today, I'm going to add in a little bit of chicken grit around where I planted. So I brought a little bucket of that out here. Chicken grit is just crushed granite. And I know they have some with oyster shell, and I'm not really sure about using that because there's so much calcium, but I've heard it's fine. And then I got a couple things in here I'm also gonna add. So this is a Superbum that really wasn't very happy in the greenhouse. You can see it's really dehydrated, so I think it might be happier in there. This was something I got from a trade meetup a while back, and it's made a new pad, and really I was just looking for more things to put in the cactus area since the Echeveria area is so full. And then finally, I have a whole bunch of these little I call them thimble cactus. So I have a lot of these. So I just thought I'd put one in here just for fun to see what happens. They're supposed to spread really quick, but all the ones I have roots, but they don't do anything in the greenhouse. So we will see. So I'm going to stick this stuff in here, and I will show you how it looks after I do that. So this is a side note, but I'm in the greenhouse, and I want to show you that agavoides, and I just ripped all the leaves off and found all this rot here. And normally I would just throw this thing away, but just for fun, I'm going to cut it slanted so that the rot part is gone, and I'll replant it, and maybe in a future episode I'll show it to you because a lot of it looks good, but any part that's black, that's just going to spread. So if you can cut all that off, a lot of times it can still regrow and you can save your plant even though it's pretty much on the brink of death. But I wanted to show you that, and I really just came out to the greenhouse to get my speaker because I haven't put all that stuff in the garden yet. And then, yeah, so I'm going to go do that now. Worse than I thought, so I had to cut a ton of that stuff off, and I'm not even sure if I got it all, but I just sprayed it with rubbing alcohol, and I'm gonna replant it, and then we will go from there. And if somebody reminds me in a comment, then maybe we can look at it in a future video. But now I'm going to get back to what I was doing before. Okay, last side note. The other day they had a big sale on succulents and a lot of them were $1, and I'll admit I went a little crazy. And it wasn't all these guys, but I realized I had so many now that I needed to pop them all up quick. So I made this big planter, and pretty much these medium-sized ones, like the ones like Lola, Neon Breakers, those were all the ones that were $1. And then everything else I filled in with stuff I already had, like the Campfire. That's the, oh, what do they call that? Blue sedum. It's a type of sedum. No, not sedum. Fire sticks, some lavender scallops. I really like those. And I put in a lot of little tiny echeveria in the front. So really kind of worried about having enough space for all these. And unfortunately, I still have a couple more trays of plants that I'm working on figuring out what to do with. But anyway, this was just a side note. I wanted to show you guys that because I think it's really pretty, and we'll just see what happens with it. All right, back to what we were doing. So I put everything in except for that purple sedum, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what I did. So let's see. Okay, where that agavoides was, I put in the Pearl von Nuremberg and the Neon Breakers, and I made sure to add a lot of that chicken grit. That way it drains a little bit better. But it's weird because this agavoides did just fine, so maybe this one doesn't drain as well, so the chicken grit will help. And I was going to put something in this area next to that dying ice plant, and when I reached my hand in there to pull out some soil to make a little divot, a huge black widow spider jumped out and then went back into the dirt, and so I'm not dealing with that today. So I put a rock there and I threw a couple random leaves there, but no thank you. So let's see, put the superbum there. Some people say superbum, but it's superbum, just FYI. So let's see, these guys, don't know what they are, but I threw them in here and they kind of separated. So this one's got a baby, and then there's those other two. And we've got the Desert Ace cactus, the thimble cactus, and this unknown one right in there. And I think everything else, oh no, Lola, Morning Beauty, and this maybe Rosea, not really sure. Yeah, okay, now everything else I put on the other side, but the reason I didn't put in this purple sedum was because look, I pulled it out and I can't separate it, but here's something really cool. Part of it is crested, and I didn't even know they could be crested, but that's really, really neat. So I'm gonna put that in another pot, and yeah. So let me go around to the other side, and sorry if you see all my junk, like my bucket, and yeah. So here is the Prolifica. Put that in there, and I know these guys are gonna make roots and spread. There's that Graptosedum. A piece of sedum fell off, so I put that there. And then finally, it saved a bunch of these leaves here. Finally, I put that tricolor sedum way over here, kind of in the corner. That way it gets not much sun and heat, and it does right now, but it's gonna get shade soon because I just pulled a little clump off. I want to save the rest of it for another spot. So anyway, this is the back. You don't normally see my garden from the back, but I still got a lot of space over here. And again, about this half over is going to get not quite as much sun as the other half, though right now part of our garage is shading that spot. So, you know, I may be able to put some echeverias there, but as the sun moves over, it may change later on in the summer. So I'm just gonna wait and see. And got a good view of the flapjacks here, and they have been ravaged a little bit by slugs, but again, I will not put chemicals in because I think it's about to get really burning up. So I want to show you that. I'm not going to put in the rest of the things just because I don't. Alright, you guys, my video got cut off because I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb and I got a phone call. But anyway, I was just kind of finishing up, and I was just going to say I'm not going to put any chemicals in here for slugs. I'm just going to wait it out and see, because the top of the flapjack looks really good. It looks fantastic, and that's what it is. So I'm going to wait on that. And I'm sorry if you hear a saw in the background. My husband's brother lives across the street, and he's working on something. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I'd like to upload it, and I really thought I would be done with everything by this last video, but I do want to fill up this space right here, and it's in the back, but the front's mostly filled up. I just have to clean up this big bundle of sedum, and I will. But I want to say thank you guys for subscribing, and I'm really happy about what my channel has become. And I want to tell you that yesterday I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a really big deal for me because I never thought anyone would really even want to watch my stuff. But apparently a lot of you guys do, and I want to thank you so much. And just to say thank you, I want to do another giveaway, and I don't know what I'm going to give away, but if you will comment on this video, and if you're a subscriber as well, then I'm going to do a drawing in my next video, and I'll send you something, some sort of prize. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.